This is the Truth Network.
Coming to you from an entrenched barricade deep in the heart of central North Carolina. Masculine Journey After Hours. A time to go deeper and be more transparent on the topic covered on this week's broadcast. So sit back and join us on this adventure. The Masculine Journey After Hours starts here now.
Welcome to Masculine Journey After Hours. I'm Danny, and we are here in our entrenched barricade somewhere in an undisclosed location near Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
We're never going to disclose exactly where we are, but everybody knows it.
Hey, we don't even know where we are half the time. What are you talking about? We're here talking about another topic. Rodney and Harold and Grant and Art are all here. The rest of them have they're at undisclosed locations.
Yeah, they're
truly at undisclosed locations. So
between having something to do and just being lazy.
And we're not going to say who's who, that kind of thing. We're not going to roll with that.
That'd be fun.
Not yet. We may later on in the show. Who knows? But, we're talking about mentors for real. Last week we did what we call a ruse show where we set up our buddy Harold over here. And, we talked about what he meant to us, and we roasted him a little bit. And we may give him a chance to rebut. Like I said in the first show, he's such a good sport, and that's part of our game. That's the way we roll in the Shire, so to speak. And, but we're talking about mentors. We're talking about what they mean to us in our life and how they speak into our lives. And, they mean so much. If you've had that experience more than once in your life, you know that, there are treasures from heaven, that God has put somebody in your life when you were ready for it. And, they've poured into your life, and it's never what you expected it to be, which makes it even better.
If we let it.
If we let it. Yeah, if we get out of the way and just kind of let things roll. And I'm going to play a clip that we threw some in because some of our main clippers are clipless, and they're also showless at this point. So I'm like, to be honest, a little stressed before going into this thing, like, oh, wait. So we throw some clips around. So I've become the clip master this week, I guess.
Yes.
Pulled some out of the archives, and we'll throw them out, and we're going to hear from Harold and Grant.
I don't see too many belts.
So many belts. I got them in my closet. And so this one is from The Lion King, and it's one of my favorites. And, we've used it on several different levels, and just phenomenal. And like Art said earlier, it speaks for itself. So, and it's a great laugh. So here we go.
What was that? The weather. Very peculiar, don't you think?
Yeah. Looks like the winds are changing.
Change is good.
Yeah, but it's not easy. I know what I have to do, but going back means I'll have to face my past. I've been running from it for so long.
Ow!
Jeez, what was that for?
It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
Yeah, but it still hurts.
Oh, yes, the past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. You see? So what are you going to do?
First, I'm gonna take your stick.
No, not a stick. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going back.
Good. Go on, get out of here.
Rafiki and Symbol are just wonderful. That is a classic interchange.
That is wonderful.
He does learn from his mistakes, and he learns pretty good because he tries to take his stick. So I mean, if you don't want to be hit again, take the stick. And I love that. I love that movie, and I think. And Harold, you've got a couple stories for us. Can you segue out of that? I'm pretty sure.
Well, one of them is in the deep past. When I was a freshman at Auburn, I had gone to the student union one day and was sitting there, and a fellow walked up to me and he said, "Hey, didn't I see you Sunday night at such and such church?" And I said, "Yeah." So we got acquainted. Turns out that we became best buds. He was a mentor to me at a time when I needed it. he steered me in the right direction when I could have easily gone in the wrong direction. Because I used to think, when I get out of Mama's shadow, I'm going to do some of these things I've been wanting to do but can't. Never could. I got out of the shadow, but she was sitting on my shoulder wherever I went. And then Chuck became a leader for me. We had much time together. In fact, he asked me to be best man in his wedding, and he called me the other day. Now, he graduated about a year ahead of me, and we've only seen each other 2 or 3 times since then, but we've talked on the phone off and on over the years. But he was a great mentor to me when I needed it. The other was not so far back in the past, but a good way. He was the preacher at Columbus, Mississippi when we moved there. He was actually also a college professor at Freed-Hardeman University, had been there. And he had a tremendous impact on me, changing my attitude toward church. I kind of had a stinking attitude because growing up and being part of some small groups without good leadership and squabbling taking place, etc. And the church there in Columbus was fairly large. I don't remember the exact number when we got there, but somewhere between 200 and 300 members, and as best I can remember. Very, very good group of people, excellent leadership. Brad had been involved in a car crash that killed his wife and crushed his larynx, so he had a raspy voice. He couldn't quote preach, which suited me just fine because I prefer teaching, not the loud, bombastic orators and orators. I'll get it right sooner or later. But anyway, those were 2 of the mentors that I had in my past that resonate when this subject comes up.
So now we have a quandrum, Harold.
What's that?
It has been quoted on the show that you are the world's oldest man, but you just told us you talked to a man who graduated before you did. So is it not true you're not the oldest man in the world?
Hold on. What's quantum?
This is the Truth Network. We got to dig into these things, you know what I mean?
I'll have to use the Popeye statement. I am what I am.
Oh, me. Just that. I heard that. I went, oh, okay. So people are in your life. Harold, they show up when you need them, and that's what we've been talking about. And stories are king. The Scripture says we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of a testimony. And our testimonies usually include people who God has put in our life, and we call them mentors or sages or whatever around here. And it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I'm pretty sure we could do pillows and posts and blanket shows on this for a long time if we really wanted to. But, anyway, Grant, there was a clip we played that you liked. I'm going to play.
Okay.
And we're going to let you speak to it because I think you're ready now. You look ready there, buddy. Our listeners can't see the readiness in your eyes, but I see it.
They're not red.
They're not red. They're ready. Okay. We're making clarity. All right. So we're going to play. This clip is from The Karate Kid, and I'll set it up for you. It's Mr. Miyagi, and he's trying to teach Daniel karate, but he's teaching Daniel more about life than he is karate.
Make sure they're stretched.
And so he's teaching him principles. And, if you watch the movie, if you hadn't seen The Karate Kid, no spoiler alert, it's been out since I was a kid. So, Daniel is now, old as I am.
Yeah, youngsters go back and watch it.
Yeah, youngsters go back and watch it.
It's good.
Classic movie. And, he gets frustrated with the process because Daniel's a lot like Danny. He wanted, a few lessons in karate, and he was going to be Bruce Lee.
Yep.
I took karate for 6 weeks, Harold. And I expected after 6 weeks to be Barney Fife. These hands are deadly weapons. And what I was hurting and sore and didn't understand what we were doing. So I did what I always did. I quit. So I have been trained in the martial arts, so just be careful. It was 6 weeks, and I was like 13, so you're probably safe. So anyway, that's why I learned to shoot a weapon. But anyway, we're going to play this clip, and then, Grant, you can tell us your story or whatever. So here we go.
Thank you.
To make honey, young bee need young flower, not old prune.
Well, at least I have company.
Walk right side, safe. Walk left side, safe. Walk middle, sooner or later, get the squish just like grape. Wax on, wax off. Don't forget to breathe. Very important. Wax on, wax off. Concentrate. Look at my eye. Like a hand. Thumb inside. And look at eye. Always look at eye. Come back tomorrow. Balance good. Karate good. Everything good. Balance bad. Better pack up, go home. Pose on yourself for person with no forgiveness in heart. Living even worse punishment than death. Never put passion before principle. Even if win, you lose. Rule number 1. Karate for defense only. Rule number 2. First learn rule number 1. Miyagi father always say, best way to avoid punch, no be there. Listen, lie become truth only if person wanna believe it.
Is that another old Okinawan saying?
Bonsai, choose own way grow because root is strong. You choose own way do karate, same reason.
Yeah, but I do it your way.
Hey, one day you do own way. Sometime better be butter on full stomach than empty one.
Oh, great. Great. Another great thought, huh?
So, Grant?
Even though it's from China, we're made in China, martial arts. Beautiful.
Is there somebody who poured into your life? Was there a Mr. Miyagi in your life?
Yeah. I forget his name. In the martial arts.
Okay.
But there's definitely the mentor at the radio station here is Robbie.
Robbie, yeah. Robbie's a good one. The Robbie is on my list as well, amongst all the other faces you see and don't see tonight. It means so much that if you want what somebody has, what I mentioned in the first show is, when you want what somebody has. I remember a time in my life, Grant, where I had been divorced twice, and I was lonely. I had gotten sober, and my life was, making a great turn. And, I was trying to live the right way, but I was lonely. I mean, heartbroken lonely. And I remember praying and begging God, if I've missed Mrs. Wright, make me okay with that. But if she's still out there, you're going to have to make it so obvious that this idiot can get it. And he did. Her name's Michelle. And we've been together almost 23 years. We still got more years to go before we catch Harold and Jan, and that kind of thing. But we're still fighting for that. But what I went to my buddy Bill Hughes, I mentioned in the first show. Him and his wife had been married 20-some years or something other. And I chose him as I wanted. They had a solid relationship. You could tell they were a lot like you and Jan. You could tell they enjoyed each other's company. They were on up in their years. They had both been married before, but they you could see the joy in their relationship. And what turned out to be just kind of a mental relationship became a true friendship. And we spent several Christmases at their house for Christmas, with dinner and that kind of thing. But I'll have to tell this, and Michelle's listening, she will laugh, because Bill used to look at her and go, honey, I don't know what you did, but maybe God will let you pay your penance sooner or later. And he looked at me, and I'm like, I thought you loved me, man. Come on. But he did all that in love and that kind of thing, and, just a wonderful man. And, I got to see him right before he left this earth. And, he just expressed the joy of living. like few other people I'd ever met. He loved adventure as much as anybody in his own way. And, those are the kind of people that just they light up your life in some way, shape, fashion, or form. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, and that's where way back when, golly, just out of college, my first 10 years I spent at McDonnell Douglas, and there was a guy there, Denny Meyer, that was just a really good guy. He did not know the Lord. Back then I didn't know him either. And you just, every day you come into work, he was my lead. He worked out in the shop floor from a lot of his career. Then he was good enough to come off the floor and come in and be a manufacturing engineer, and that's what he did. And there's just so many times that I had so many questions. What do I do here? What do I do there? But every time I'd go ask, it was never a problem. He would just answer, tell me what to go look for, what to go do, what to experience, whatever it was. When I followed his advice, I could put it together and go make something out of it and get things solved, get the new part introduced, whatever the change was introduced. And it was just very, simple. And I had him for all those first 10 years, he was always kind of there as the lead. And I would just go with him and follow him, and it was just kind of easy to go do. But when you don't have those in front of you, you don't have somebody to mentor you, to teach you, it's no telling where you're going to go, because you can't go rewrite that. You can think of things, but there's no way to go back and relive it, redo it, anything. It's just, things just flow out of that. But it's nice to have someone there to show you how to go do it. And when you screw it up, well, here's all you have to do to go fix it. It's just easier when you have somebody who is there to help.
Rodney had a similar experience when I went to work for a company I worked for. We manufacture commercial dish machines. Now, I had been a service agent out in the field working on these dishwashers and many other appliances for most of my career. And then I moved into this side, into manufacturing. And Mark Campbell, I have the privilege, that's easy for me to say, the privilege of going to church with him now. We've ended up at the same church for a season. But when I went to work there, Mark looked at me. Mark had been there forever, 30-some years, I guess it was. I think he was born in a warehouse somewhere. It was a rumor of that. And I used to pick at him all the time. I said, were you born here? I mean, what is that thing? Mark looked at me and he said, it'll take you a good year to get your bearings right and to get going good. And in my arrogance, I'm thinking, old man, you don't know what you're talking about. You're talking to the kid. And I was the Daniel, and this was Mr. Miyagi, and so to speak. And doggone if he wasn't right.
And you stepped on the prune.
There were so many variables to what we were doing, and so many different aspects that I could fix about anything. God gave me a mechanical gift, but I'm having to learn to use it in a different way. And I've been there almost 8 years now, and I'm still learning. You always got to be a student, Art. Always got to be a student. The minute you quit being a student, you're about done. And, I love that there was somebody there. There was a Mark that said, Danny, this is the way it's done.
In the right university with the Lord.
Yeah. And, Mark's a good guy. And what I observed out of him, the things he didn't say, Harold, was he built relationships around the plant. He built relationships with, engineering. Mark, had his people. And so I followed right in his footsteps and have built relationships. Y'all know me, I'm a relational guy. I'll talk to anybody about anything, and I just love people. It's what God gave me. And, so I learned from that. And that's beautiful. I'm going to play another clip, and it's for those of our team that's not here who give me a hard time about my Andy Griffith clips. We're going to play an Andy Griffith clip. Andy, this is for you to let you know I am playing the Andy Griffith clip this week. It's one I've used a couple times, and it's Andy pouring into Opie about life and the way life works. And it's a beautiful clip, and, because when we talk about mentors, right, wrong, or indifferent, our fathers poured into our lives one way or the other. And, I know that there are people listening to this show, sit in church every Sunday.
And mothers.
And, mothers, but there's a point to this is that when they say God the Father, it pricks something in people that is not good. Because their fathers weren't there. Their fathers were there in ways they shouldn't have been. And so it challenges them when they think of God being their father. And that's kind of what has to be, that's why God puts mentors in our life, Harold, to fix what's broke sometimes. But, I had a pretty good dad. Still got a pretty good dad. He's ornery and cantankerous just like I am because I get it from him. Love him to death, but he's taught me so much. And this clip is about that. And, I don't think you can do a show like this and not talk about your dad a little bit, maybe. Good, bad, or indifferent. We all have different relationships. So we're going to play that and go from there.
For Pa's and Sons.
This first. The 75-cent rule.
The 75-cent rule. I don't believe I ever heard of that one.
Well, and that's what I figured. What it is, Pa, is that nowadays kids get 75 cents a week allowance instead of 25 cents.
75 cents? That's a lot of money. And in a year's time, that'd come to, there's 52 weeks in a year.
It comes to around $40 a year.
That's an awful lot of money for a young.
They get it, Pa.
They do, huh?
And they don't have to work for it like I do.
Well, who is this they you keep talking about?
Oh, Arnold Winkler and everybody.
Arnold Winkler. I don't believe I know him, do I?
They're new from Raleigh.
Oh, I see. And the Raleigh rules say 75 cents and no work, huh?
I guess.
You want it straight, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here it goes. There are no rules for Pa's and Sons. It's as simple as this. Each mother or father raises his boy or girl, as the case may be, the way that he thinks is best. And I think it's best for you to get a quarter and work for it. You see, when you give something, in this instance, cleaning the garage, and you get something in return, like a quarter, well, that's the greatest feeling in the world. You do feel good after working, don't you?
Uh-huh. Good and tired.
Well, as you get bigger, well, you'll be doing more and more work for more and more return, and that good feeling will get bigger. Do you understand what I mean?
I think so.
Good.
I'm not going to get the 75 cents, and I have to work for the 25.
Right. All clear to you?
Yeah. The bigger you get, the tireder you get.
Allah, you just think about that for a while.
Do I have to?
Don't you want to think about it?
It makes me kind of sad.
Well, the thing to do when you're feeling sad is to shoot for the good feeling.
Clean the garage.
Right.
So long, Paul.
So long, Paul.
What a classic, dude, what a classic is. Andy's teaching him work ethic. He's teaching him, for the things in life you have to work for. You got to put the elbow grease in, be it spiritually, mentally, or physically. And, my dad was the master of that. The man's a mechanical genius. And so he's, he taught me, he didn't buy my first car. I worked out in the tobacco field, my uncle's tobacco field, and earned money and did different things and saved enough money. He found a car I could afford. I bought the car. Now, he poured in a lot of money to get it painted and that kind of thing. He done tons of stuff. But he had me out there with the elbow grease. We had to sand part of that car by hand. Man, this ain't never going to end. But what he taught me was, when I was around my buddies, Harold, and they had their cars that their mama bought them or their daddy bought them or both, I'd pat the old hood of that old black Skyhawk and go, this is my baby. I was proud of that car because I had sweat equity in it, you know what I mean? And that had value. That's what my dad gave me. And later on in life, he said, son, get paid for what you know and not what you do. And I took that to heart. He said, if they offer to send you to a school or to learn something, you go. And I've made a pretty good living because of what I know, not so much what I do. Still good with my hands, still piddle with lawnmowers and that kind of thing, but most of the time I sit behind a desk, push a mouse, and tell other people how to fix something, which is classic because I love to talk. So
yes, you do.
Yeah, so, I love to hear me, that kind of thing. So, but that's, part of what Dad poured into me, tons of other stuff, because we got 57 years of being father and son. 57 years of experience. And but anybody else got anything to add?
Well, that's one of the things that's really tough as you think about the father-son experience is whether you have a son or a daughter, you're going to have to speak into their life.
Yeah.
And if you think back, some of us can go back to, well, what did mom and dad teach me? What did they say to me? Some of us don't even have that. Like you said earlier, you get yanked out of a father-son relationship or whatever you are in that parent role, and you don't have that, or your parents are drunks, or they're just bad excuses for, whatever they are. It just makes it really hard. And that's what really takes away from us doing anything is when you come into a situation where, oh, I'm trying, but you don't even know what to try because you're like, well, I've never had this done to me. I've never had somebody be a parent to me, so therefore all I'm going to try to do is do what I can. And that's what I love about the Bible. You go through the Bible, there's so many things that are so wretched, horrible, bad in there, and you have so many things that are so solid and so strong and so good that you can see many, many examples. And if you go to it and you just kind of learn from all those, it's amazing what'll pop into your head and say, why don't I try something that's similar to this story? And then you can go put that into experience and try that and try to bring that up in their life. Or you try another one. But the whole point is just keep trying things, but show them that you love them. Don't ever just say, oh, I'm just going to give up, or just go try on your own. Because when you do that, you're saying, I give up. And you don't ever, ever want to give up on a young life today.
And that's why Christian community is so important for those who haven't had that experience. You'll find those mentors. God's got a family for you. And, and a good place to do that is boot camp, masculinejourney.org. Our next one is at November 20th to the 23rd. You can register online, and you can find us on any podcast. We look forward to talking to you next week.
This is the Truth Network.